I went from 1 store to 3 stores and I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea. I was so broke. I remember when I had 3 stores, I was standing in line at McDonald's before going into my second store. And I remember thinking, I just have to open up 1 more store. If I had 4 stores, then I can net $4,000 a month. I thought I had to have $1,000 net from each store is all I could do. That was my thinking.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
The following program features a bunch of doofuses talking about the automotive aftermarket. The stuff we or our guests may say do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of our peers, our sponsors, or any other associations we may have. There may be some spicy language in this show, so if you get your feelings hurt easily, you should probably just move along. So without further ado, here's your host, Mike Allen, with Confessions of a Shop Owner, presented by TechMetric, the best software in the history of ever.
Okay, good morning. It is day 3 of Vision 2026. We're here in Kansas City, and today I've got Jay Ha with me of Carmedix in Durham, North Carolina. Not to be confused with CarFix in Raleigh, North Carolina. We're neighbors, very similar names and very similar locations, but 2 distinct different businesses. And Jay, I think we've gotten to watch our businesses grow over the years kind of peripherally. We've known each other, not been super close, but kind of watched each other from before. I think we see a lot of the same resumes come across each other's desks and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, right.
So most of the time that we've talked in the last several years has probably been checking references on dudes.
Yep.
But it has been really interesting to watch you from afar over the last decade.
Yeah.
And one of the things I was just saying when we were talking before we hit record was, you know, the concept of this show, Confessions of a Shop Owner, is talking about the things that go wrong in the shop and the things that we change and the processes that we change so that they don't go wrong in the same way again. And before I ever had a podcast, for sure, long before, you were living that reality out in a very public way online. And, you know, you started, I mean, I think you were online sharing your day-to-day operations when you were a one-man band back in the day. So tell me about your kind of origin story and then what led you to living life out loud. I think it was in ASOG back in the day that you were sharing most of that. So,
yeah, dude, like ever since college, you remember Zanga? Have you ever done Zanga? Like it's like a daily journal thing that you did online in MySpace. So I used to do that. So that kind of carried on to Facebook stuff. I've always wanted to document stuff, right? Okay. So I've been doing that since early on. But yeah, I started from a home garage in 2015 of October, and then I got kicked out by my HOA and then went into a shared building and then went into the 6-bay facility in the location I'm in now. But yeah, I mean, that's how I started. Okay. Yeah, I was the mobile mechanic for a little bit too.
I remember like, man, when I first found ASOG, and I don't remember how long ago it was, you were one of the prominent names in that group at the time, just because you were such a prevalent poster. Yeah. You posted on such a regular basis. And one of the most toxic things about social media is that people only post their wins. They post vacation pictures only.
Yep.
They don't post when they're crying, when they're fighting, when they're yelling, when things are going poorly. And what was so impressive about you, and frightening from my perspective, was that you were sharing all the dirty shit, man. Like when, I remember, I'm trying to think about what, I think maybe it was an oil, you had an oil out issue, like maybe a double gasketed filter or something, and just an oil lake backing out of the bay or something, and you shared about it, and everybody was bashing you. And I was like, you sons of bitches, all of y'all have had that happen at least once. And your just openness with that. What do you think it is about you that you're willing to share the good, bad, and ugly?
Man, I don't know. I just share everything online. I share all the good and I share all the bad. I share just everything. I don't know why I do that, but yeah, I've made plenty of mistakes. And you know, you were telling me about your podcast before I came on, and dude, it's just Confessions of a Shop Owner. Everything that you've done wrong as a shop owner, and just learning from people's mistakes. That's the best type of learning, is learning from other people's mistakes, because you don't have to make the same mistake. And I remember, like, I went from 1 store to 3 stores and I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea. I was so broke. And I remember when I had 3 stores, I was standing in line at McDonald's before going into my second store. And I remember thinking, I just have to open up one more store. If I had 4 stores, then I can net $4,000 a month. I thought I had to have $1,000 net from each store is all I could do. That was my thinking.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Look, here's the deal. I like to think that I'm pretty good at running an auto repair shop. It's what I've done for 20 plus years, but I'm not good at managing a marketing budget and all the different facets of a truly well-rounded marketing plan. There's mail, there's local advertising, there's website, there's Google AdWords, there's all the different things that go into that, and it's just not what I'm good at. So what I've chosen to do is to buy myself the time to focus on what I am good at while having someone else execute on all of those things at a way higher level than anything I could ever do. That's what turnkey auto marketing does for me. So if you feel like you could use some of that same magic, I'm going to recommend that you go to turnkeyautomarketing.com, get a free consultation, tell them that I sent you, tell them that Confessions of a Shop Owner sent you. You won't be disappointed.
My name's Arlene, and I'm with Car Doctors in Athens, Georgia.
Take 2.
My name's Arlene, and I'm a service advisor at Car Doctors here in Athens. TechMetric looks very, very good and presentable to the customers because it allows us to actually answer their concerns, bundle everything up for them. I can send them an inspection report. They can visually see what we're seeing, and then I can send the estimates as well. So they can see exactly what we're quoting, why we're quoting it, how much everything is. And then I'm also using it to communicate with my technicians. They'll leave me notes, I leave them notes. Everything is all bundled together in one sweet little package. Makes it very convenient and less time consuming, honestly.
Where were the other 2 stores?
One was north, like Triangle Town Center Mall,
Yeah.
northeast Raleigh,
Yeah.
and then like South Raleigh.
Triangle Town Center, not a good area.
Not a good area.
South Raleigh, not a good area.
None of those were good areas.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was wearing all the hats, putting out all the fires, so I
Yeah.
was doing everything in the worst way. So, yeah.
Well, you consolidated down, and you went. I remember the time that I was a ShopFix member, we had a little North Carolina group, and we toured each other's shops. And I went to your shop. It was before you moved to the big store you're at. You've been in that same strip mall for a long time now, right?
Yep.
And now you're kind of in the anchor unit of that strip mall. How
Yeah.
many bays do you have now?
I got 10 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was bigger than that. But anyway, I think you were 4 bays when I came and toured, maybe.
Well, it looked like it's 6 bays, but it looked like 4 bays because it was kind of split.
Okay.
Yeah. So I went from a 6 bay to 10 bay.
Okay. And so that growth has continued. How is 2026 going for you so far?
It's going great. We're at maximum capacity. We have 8 techs. And so, yeah, we're rocking and rolling over there.
So is it 8 2-posters, an alignment lift, and a QC bay, or how's that work?
I have 9 2-post lifts and an alignment lift, but because of the way things are structured, I can't even fit another technician in there. I can't fit another box. So I'm all about efficiency. I waste no space. In fact, my tire machines, they're outside in a storage container, and my guys have to do tires in a storage container outside. Yeah, but I mean, we make it work.
Yeah, one of my shops is like that. I've got a 20-foot Conex that we just wired up, and the tire machine and balancer are out there. So you just got to do what you got to do sometimes, right? You grew very publicly. You found a coaching organization, which we'll talk about. Obviously, you're repping the brand because I think that seems to be where your passion is right now, and has been for a couple of years, is with ShopFix and being a coach with ShopFix also. Yeah. You're a coach at ShopFix, I know that. Or have you moved up in the hierarchy there and another level also? Or
no, I'm just a coach. I'm just one of the. I think we have like around 70 coaches now.
Okay.
So I'm just one of the coaches.
Who's like the director of coaching?
Well, Berg is a CEO.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have lead coaches. So I don't know if you know Ryan Hillenbrand.
Yeah.
Brandon Peavy and Patrick Murray. Those are the 3 lead coaches.
So I remember Patrick Murray was just getting started when I was there.
Oh, okay.
And he's got like just a baller Euro shop, beautiful in the DC area. Is that right?
I think Jersey.
Okay.
Do you know he moved to North Carolina? Everyone's moving to North Carolina now.
North Carolina's a hotbed of automotive, dude.
Yeah.
We've got so much good stuff going on in North Carolina. I think there's a ton of really strong players that are ShopFix guys in North Carolina, and then there's a ton of strong players that are old IGO carryovers into ASTA.
Yep.
But for reasons, the ShopFix group and the ASTA group don't seem to cross-pollinate very much, and I wish that we could fix that, but it's a complex issue.
Well, dude, well, this is one of the things that I always wondered is, man, I always wanted the industry to be united, right?
Yeah.
I don't get the division. I don't get the hate, man. I just think that, at the end of the day, we all want the same thing. We all want to take care of our people. We all want to take care of our customers, and we all want margin in our lives, right? No one wants to become a shop owner and be broke and have no time for their family, right? No one signed up to be a shop owner to work 80-hour weeks, right? Everyone that wanted to become a shop owner, man, I want to work less. I want some margin. I want to be able to spend time with family. But the thing is, like, we just all become trapped in our businesses. And so that's what happened to me. It's like, man, I thought I kept on having to grow in order to get a little bit of margin back in my life in terms of money. I mean, I was so broke back then. I grew up poor. Like, I was abused by my dad. And the thing about this industry is it attracts those type of people. Like, we're all broken. Everyone's written us off, right? We have no self-esteem. And then we all come in and we're all here and we're all broken human beings. And now we have walls and defenses up and we all have this ego, but it's false humility because we're trying to protect and persevere whatever little we have left. Yeah. So that's what I see. And I want to somehow break that barrier. And ShopFix, okay, I think every coaching company, like whoever you're with, dude, they're gonna teach you the same thing, right? They're gonna teach you gross profit per hour, or labor capacity and the revenue, and then chart of accounts. All that's like, I think 90% of the stuff is the same. But at ShopFix, what we do is like, man, like, I've never been a part of any other coaching group, but we really focus on the person, the background, who you are, and just believing in yourself again, and just saying, I'm proud of you. And that's been the impact of my growth. It's not learning the numbers per se. It's just believing in myself and someone out there saying, well, Aaron Stokes, he's the first one that looked at me in the eye and he goes, hey man, I believe in you. I'm proud of you. And that just does something to you.
Yeah.
So
it's definitely been my experience as well, is seeing that each coaching organization tends to have its own little spin on things. For me, Elite is very numbers driven and data driven and focused on understanding the analytics to a very high level, right? In my little exposure to Aaron and ShopFix, it was, you need those things, you need the fundamentals and that foundation, but it's a lot more about emotional management and understanding self-sabotage and confidence and that kind of thing. So I think there's definitely a need for that as well. I do want to go back. You mentioned, all the haters. It drives me crazy how divided and disparate our industry is. It's also part of what's so glorious about our industry is because it is the independent aftermarket. We're allowed to do it the way that we want to do it, right? Yeah. But it's also so hard to get everybody pulling in the same direction so that we can have meaningful change that sticks, right? For the very same reason. Everybody wants to tear down success. One of the analogies that I draw is if I'm driving down the highway and the speed limit's 65 miles an hour, well, I'm a really good driver, so I can do 75, right? And anybody who's going slower than me needs to get out of my way because I know what I'm doing. Anybody who's driving faster than me is crazy and reckless, and they need to be arrested, right? And so look at how awesome my shop is, and you should all follow me and do my business the way that I do it. And if you do it any other way, then you're stupid and you need to learn from me. And if you do more than I can do, you must be unethical. You must be ripping people off or taking advantage of your employees or whatever it is. And man, that just drives me crazy that's so prevalent across what we do. I know that I believe that some of that underlying hate and shade that was thrown towards Aaron and ShopFix early on because of the explosive growth that they had was jealousy because they were doing things that other people couldn't do. Now, there were other people that had specific instances, like there was one time he said this, and I disagree with that, so therefore everything he ever said is wrong or evil or based on a lie, right? Man, I hope that I never have to be judged for my entire life on my worst moment or on any one thing where I misspoke. But man, it's such a divisive.
Yeah.
thing.
I think you hit the nail on the head. I mean, if you're looking for a specific thing, then you'll find it. I mean, you can edit the clips however you want. I mean, someone can take this podcast and edit it the way they want and portray us to, how they think of us.
That's what Braxton does. He just edits the clips down to make them rage baity. So I guess you just kind of head down and behave in an ethical way and do the best you can to help as many people as you can, and go from there.
If you're like me, there's always hidden revenue in missed maintenance sales or overlooked customer concerns. Detect Auto helps auto shops unlock that revenue by analyzing vehicle service histories, pinpointing maintenance recommendations, and equipping advisors to confidently address customer questions. It's easy. It integrates with your existing software, and your team will love it. Check out detectauto.com and see how your shop can stop guessing and start selling better service recommendations today.
What does 2026 look like for you?
I mean, for me, a lot of people ask me, are you looking for a new shop or are you looking to grow? I mean, if the perfect opportunity comes, I will. However, I believe that every shop out there, we can just be a little bit more efficient. So I try to tackle efficiency more than just revenue growth or store growth. And that comes from opening up 3 shops and not knowing what the hell I was doing, right? Yeah. So I lost so much money and so much headache. So I realized, most people out there, if you have about 8 to 10 days, you can net $1 million from one shop, just one shop. And it's just so much easier to, and your people are happier because you're pouring all your marketing into one location. It's just easier for me. My kids right now are 9 and 7. And man, family time, I'm never gonna give that up. I always take a week off every single month. We either go to Disney World, we take a cruise, but no matter what, we do something.
I gotta talk about cruises.
Okay.
Right? So you've got a whole YouTube channel for cruises, right?
I did, dude. I have channels for everything. And I started and then I just give up on it. So it's been a while, but yeah.
So you're a big MSC, right?
I am.
Cruiser. So I've been trying to get my family to get on board with cruises for years.
All right.
And they never could. They never would. And we're not going to like it. Well, last year, I finally got my wife to go on one. And she's like, holy shit, I love this. This is great. And so then we did a Disney cruise, and we're doing Royal Caribbean cruises, and we're trying to figure out what is, what's our cadence going to be, frequency, and that kind of thing. Why MSC over like a Royal Caribbean or something else?
Dude, MSC is a lot cheaper than other cruises, right? You just get better value. I'm Asian, man. I'm still cheap, right? I might make a lot of money now, but I'm cheap, right? That always follows you. And that just comes from being broke early on, right? Mm-hmm. So, and that's something that Aaron has always struggled with. He's always sharing like, man, I struggle with, spending like this, like he's making millions. He's like, I struggle spending 40 grand on this one thing, which is just chunk change to him. But MSC, they have what's called Yacht Club, and you have your own butler.
It's like a boat within a boat.
Oh, boat within a boat, man. Like we would stay in the owner's suite, which is the best room on the whole ship. So it'll run you about like 15 to 20 grand a week. But a similar room on a Royal Caribbean would be like 60 grand, right? So it's like a small apartment. You're on the very front. You have a jacuzzi out on the deck. The butler will I don't have them do this, but they'll unpack your luggage for you and stuff like that, and just escort you everywhere.
Hell yeah, man! I want that. I want somebody to come unpack my shit.
They'll bring you food on a silver platter. But man, we cruise so often with them. We became friends with the butlers. Like we know like almost all the crew. So yeah, it's been good. My kids grew up with them.
How's the quality of food on the boats?
I think it's great. Yeah, I think it's good.
All right, so Amanda, we're gonna have to try MSC. We're gonna try to get in the yacht club. Note it. That's cool. Also, I think at the risk of pushing up on some stereotypes, you are an Asian man. Are you a degenerate gambler like me?
Oh, hell yeah, man.
Okay. What's your game?
I used to play poker.
Okay.
But now, that's takes a lot of patience, right?
Yeah.
So now it's all blackjack all day.
Any craps or anything? You ever throw the dice?
I play craps, yeah.
Okay.
I used to throw dice, yeah.
Okay,
but now it's like blackjack. Yeah. You play craps?
I love craps, and a little bit of like if the craps table's not good, or like if you get there and they don't have a good table open, they got craps lists as the only thing that's open. I got no interest in that.
Yeah.
I'll go play blackjack.
Yeah.
So.
And then, dude, like when I'm up in blackjack, like a lot, I'll go to the roulette table and start splashing chips, man. Yeah, it is bad, man. When you're on a cruise boat and you're stuck on the boat and the only thing there is a freaking casino right smack dab in the middle, it gets a little bit dangerous. Right?
That's how you get in the yacht club.
Yeah.
You gamble.
Yeah.
All right, so you got, I love talking about hobbies outside. So you're a degenerate gambler like me. You like cruises like me. I feel like maybe we're just secret brothers. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Man.
I know you got a place down on the coast.
Yep.
How has that been for you? We were almost there, and then there was fear of cost of maintenance and upkeep being so labor intensive because salt air and everything else.
Oh, dude, the salt eats up everything, man. It eats up everything. But man, the reason why I got a place on the coast, there's a saying, success can be duplicated. So my thought was, when I heard that, I was like, dude, I just got to pick somebody that's really successful. I just got to copy them, and I'll get that same success. So who I picked was Aaron Stokes. And I just wanted to be everything like him, like everything he was doing. And so I'm Asian, right? I was like, I'm never going to buy a boat, right? Because as soon as it hits the water, it's going to freaking depreciate. It's probably the worst thing you can buy. But one time, Aaron, on stage, he was like, man, having a boat and having all your family on that boat and just looking out back and cheering the guy on the wakeboard, that's the best form of entertainment you can have. It's like the most wholesome fun. And you bring everyone together, and he had a lake house, you bring everyone together. He's like, man, I don't want my kids going over to other people's places. I want to make a place where we gather everyone here so we can keep our kids here. I heard that and I was like, okay, I'm gonna buy a boat, and I bought a boat. And I bought a place at the coast. And man, let me just tell you, since 22, we spent every summer there. And I've brought my employees, I've brought friends. I mean, we just had the most amazing time. Just like Aaron said, we'd be on the boat, and then like I'm in the coast at the Outer Banks, so we can go out where no one else can get to. Like it's just these smaller islands and just private islands that we would find, and just these private beaches, and it's just fun, man. It's just like you see dolphins out there and all kinds of stuff.
That's awesome.
So,
my brother's a big boater guy, and he's always been like, because I live on a small lake, but it's no motorized boat, so it's paddle boards and canoes only.
That's
kind
peaceful,
of stuff.
man. That would be good.
And so I enjoy that, but he's got the big wake boat and everything down on a big water lake, and I think a beach house is in the future one day. We'll see. But what do you think is the long-term goal for Carmedix? Are you gonna pass it on to the kids potentially, or you have an exit plan or time frame?
So I thought about that too, because I see all these, small, like the equity firms buying out shops, right? And they're paying like ridiculous multiples, for single shops. It's like, I just know one owner, he's a friend of mine, he just sold his for at like a 5 or 6x multiple, and he just one location.
Yeah.
And he's netting a lot. He did really well. And so I think about that. I'm like, well, all right. So let's say somebody just offered me $5 million for my one location, $5 million. All right, well, I still got to pay taxes on that. And then, I like to, like, once you have a finite amount of money, what am I going to do with it? Just put it in the stock market? I don't know. But my business always cash flows. And so I don't know if I could ever give that up. It's just, I'm never at my shop. The first time I went to my shop was like, I think 4 days ago this year. Before then, I didn't go into my shop. I think after Christmas is when I went out to give out some Christmas cash, and then before then I can't remember when I went in. So I've achieved 100% freedom in my shop. It prints money for me. My people are happy. I have good leadership in place. So I don't know why I would sell it.
Yeah, that's fair. If it's automatic, if it's automatic. How often do you check in on it and monitor and set the guardrails?
So we have daily goals. Like I ask a lot of owners this. I was like, hey, how did you do yesterday? Did you do well yesterday? And then a lot of owners were like, man, I feel like we did good. I think we did good, or I think we did bad. Our car count was down. It's always like, I think, I feel. But we run our business off the numbers. We have absolute minimum gross profit dollar goals that we have to hit. And if we're $200 off, this is my mentality, and this is my manager's mentality. Even if we're $200 off in our sales, in GP dollars, if we repeat this day every single day, then there's a day that we're going to go bankrupt in the future if we repeat this, even if I have $1 million in the bank. So with that,
you're going to bleed it dry. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. So with that mindset we have, my manager texts me and my advisors the numbers for the day, the sales numbers for the day, and that's the guardrail.
Do you count the sales when the customer gives the approval or when the cash gets put in the till?
when the customer gives approval. So the idea is, as long as and I'll just say my minimum numbers right now, $6,200 GP dollars a day. If I hit that per day, and it doesn't have to close out, just got to be approved, because I know one day, I mean,
It's gonna get
it's gonna get closed out. And my people only get paid on the work that's closed out. So that's another guardrail, right? Advisors get paid off of commission, off of GP dollars only. So they get paid when the ticket closes.
Yeah. So I'm trying to evolve my business to focus not on top line revenue. I don't focus on top line revenue.
Yeah, I don't focus. I mean, top line revenue does nothing to me. Yeah, nothing for me.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my team to not fall in love with the flashy $20,000 BMW motor, because, I mean, how long is that going to take?
Yep.
How long is it going to tie up a bay? Yeah. How much is the we forgot this part going to be eating into margins, and it's a low margin ticket, but the GPH is good. Yeah, but it was there for 3 days, or whatever it was. So we're trying to drive home that focus on GP approval per day.
Yes.
And each location knows what their number is. And they know what they know what the minimum number is, and they know what the target number is, and so just trying to shift mindset and thought process in that capacity. But I am curious about celebrating the wins when they get the approval. But I have had some throughput issues where it's like we just can't get the big jobs out of the bay, and so it builds up and it builds up. I'd like it to be, $8,000 to $10,000 of GP on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, on Friday, right?
Yep.
But what ends up happening, I'd like that to be what gets billed out, right? Mm-hmm. What ends up happening is that's what's approved, but they bill out 4,000, and then 3,000, and then 12,000, and then 8,000, and then 35,000 on Friday. I'm like, guys, why? I mean, come on. So establishing that sense of urgency is something that we're struggling with right now, and just consistent sense of urgency. We got to help this person right now. They don't want their car next Monday. They want their car right now.
Yeah.
So it's just a consistent coaching thing.
Yeah.
So you do morning huddles or
absolutely
all that kind of stuff?
Oh, dude, we do every single morning, 7:30 to 8 o'clock. We have morning meetings between the advisor and technician. It's so important to have all those guys together. They don't realize it, but they're in the same boat. But a lot of times, it's just how the shops are designed. It's always a battle, tug of war between the front and the back, and they think they're at wits at, they think they're on opposite sides. But they're on the same boat. But each of them they're holding a drill and just drilling holes in the boat, and that's our opportunity to smack the drill out of them, But every morning, and that's so key. Yeah.
So we do a 7:30 to 7:45 with advisors in the morning, and then we do a small huddle with technicians at like 7:50, and then doors open at 8 for us. But I haven't thought about bringing everyone together. We do once a month after hours. Everybody at all locations is invited to come together, and we eat and drink together and talk about process and procedure, which has been good for us. But we've only been doing that for about 5 months. So just trying to figure out how to be better at what we do. So, so cool. You're not looking to be an evil multi-shop owner. You just want to have one badass shop that runs on autopilot. That's pretty cool. I do think a lot of guys that come to these coaching events or training events or join a coaching group, and they see all the guys that are kind of put up on a pedestal as this is the player, this is the dog, right? And I went from one store and I quadrupled in a year, and then now I've got 9 stores or whatever it is, and they see that as the standard, and they can't be comfortable and happy with where they are and the success that they have because they're always trying to catch up and keep up.
That, and I think it's very dangerous if you grow in the wrong way, because you're going to keep growing, but you're not necessarily cash flowing, right? So you don't have any cash in the bank, and they have built a house on cards, right? Their business is built on a house of cards. One bad month will actually ruin their whole operation. I mean, there's some shop owners that are doing great and doing big numbers. And yes, like the best example is Luke Walker. He's an amazing, I don't know if you know Luke. He's an amazing guy, the most humble, the most genuine guy I've ever met. And he has one store that does $1 million a month in sales, $1 million. And I remember Luke saying this, or Aaron was telling me about Luke saying this. It's like, man, everyone cares about my big store because it does $1 million a month in sales. But he only nets 10% of that in that store. And he's like, man, that store is a headache. Because think about how
a lot
much,
to manage.
Dude, think about how many advisors you have to have, how many GSs you have to have, the support staff. And he's like, dude, I want nothing to do with that shop. You know, that's like I don't care about that shop. I care about my smaller stores that are netting more. And I think that's just a prime example. It's like even Luke with that $1 million shop, he likes his other smaller shops more that are netting more. And I've noticed it's like, dude, if you want to net $100,000 a month cash flow, right? If you do, if you net 10%, you have to do $1 million.
Yeah.
But at 30%, what is that? It's like only 330,000, right? So it's a huge difference. And the difference between a 330,000 revenue store and a $1 million revenue store,
it's enormous.
It's enormous. And so which one would you try to go for? Dude, I'm going to try to net 30% every time. So.
Do you see the ability to get those super high net numbers being challenged and compressed more and more with labor forces being what they are? And
well, here's the thing. I met with the CEO of Advanced Auto Parts. They're in our town.
Yeah.
So I had lunch with Shane O'Kelly, right? And then I asked him about, the question I asked is, hey, do you think motivating employees worked? And he drew this 4 square for me, and he was like, man, high skill, high will employees, you delegate them. Low skill, low will employees, you fire them. High skill, low will, you motivate. Yeah. And then low skill, high will, you train.
TechMetric is the all-in-one software solution for auto shops. It can do just about anything.
How can I build trust with customers?
How much? TechMetric can do that. How can I do an inspection faster? TechMetric can do that.
How can I make this as painless as possible?
TechMetric can do that.
How can I run my shop from anywhere?
TechMetric can do that.
Can I just pay for my repair from my phone?
TechMetric can do that.
How can I be a better man?
You could try putting your crap away, Dennis.
Sometimes you just need to put your crap away. But for shop productivity, increased revenue, and a better customer experience, TechMetric can do that.
Yeah.
But I had an epiphany at that moment. High skilled people will always make you money. Low skilled people will always cost you money. So in my business, I only flat rate or pay commission only for the advisors, flat rate only for the technicians. And the biggest difference is, it's not because I'm trying to be cheap, because I can't get cheap technicians because all my technicians are skilled, right? Skilled technicians are not gonna work somewhere where you're gonna be cheap. Yeah. So I pay them very, very well, 401k, 75% medical dental. I provide whatever. But because they're high skill, they'll always make me money. And I don't have any GSs. So it's easier to net without low skill people.
What do you think about the concept that Hayes has come into the market with in the last couple of years? Or I mean, he's been doing it for a long time. A lot of people have been doing it for a long time, but he's made it more widely known in the training circles that we operate in about speed of service being the name of the game. I think the way that ShopFix says it is money loves speed, I think is what y'all say.
Yeah.
But they do the Rack Attack program. And I've tried Rack Attack to varying levels of success, and like anything else, it depends on the people that you've got, right? On how well it's executed. You said you have no GSs. How do you try to execute on speed at a very high level with nothing but high skill techs?
Yep. Yeah, so for me, it's all about perception, right? We all agree that auto repair is getting harder to sell. I mean, our customers are broke right now. I don't know if you noticed it, but man, nobody wants to spend money on auto repair. And we advertise the cheaper oil changes to get people in, and no one thinks that they're gonna come in and just stay there for an hour. Dude, there's a Take 5 oil change opening up right across the street from me. So customer perception is, dude, oil changes should only take 5 minutes. If Take 5 can do it in 5 minutes, why can't you do it in 5 minutes? That's the perception. Yeah. So I absolutely agree that sense of urgency, speed of service is everything, because we have to come from the customer perspective, right? Because they are king, right? If we have no customer, and that's the biggest thing I see, is like when I think about it, I see a lot of ego in the industry, and they're like, that's not my customer, or I'm not gonna service them, or we're gonna do it my way, not your way. But ultimately, if you don't have any customers, your customers are the boss. So we have to give them what they want, and nobody wants to sit in the auto repair facility for an hour, right? They all got something to do. So what we do, we don't do the Rack Attack because we can't have 5 people do the Rack Attack at once. I don't know the policy really, but But what we do is we do what's called a show and tell, or we call it show and sell. Yeah. And so, before the customer even gets comfortable to sit down, our technician has already pulled the car in, lifted it up, pulled the drain plug, right? And while the oil is draining, we will look for the biggest safety issue.
We call it the ISO, but
yeah. And I mean, that you can find within 10 minutes for sure, right? If you see a ball tire with wires hanging out, dude, are you not going to see that right away? Or like, we will always, how long does it take to shake down a tire, right? And if you have a tie rod with 9 degrees of play, and if the customer doesn't buy that one thing, are they going to buy anything else? Probably not. So we use that kind of as a litmus test as well. But we always point out the biggest safety issue. Now, we got a lot of flack. I remember Aaron talking about this, and we got flack from this other YouTube channel about, oh, you're not telling them the whole story. No, we tell them the whole story, actually. Once we sell the work, right, we give them a ride home, so they're not in our facility all day. We check out the rest of the car, present the rest of the ticket to the customer, and then we start to work. So that's where the misconception comes in.
Well, that was a little bit of rage baiting too. That dude was looking for content engagement, I think.
Well, I think you got plenty of it, right?
Yeah, he did. I think we had this conversation. We were doing an RO audit with a team at one of the stores last week because tech average quote had really tanked abnormally because that store historically had really right in line with where we wanted it to be. And what we had said, we had discussed, if the customer's not going to buy the ISO or the one thing, they're probably not going to buy other things if the one thing that we presented to them is the most urgent, most safety related, most visually compelling item, right? And so I said, don't waste time estimating all the other stuff. Just document it. You still got to tell them.
Oh,
still
absolutely.
Document it.
Absolutely.
And I didn't communicate clearly enough, and that it was one of those Tuesday night meetings, right? With everybody from all locations were together, and the way they interpreted it at that store, not the other two, was don't finish the DVI. Just go ahead and back it out. And so our tech average quote just tanked, even though I was telling them not to quote those things, but it became a crutch. They're like, oh, well, if I didn't sell that, I'm not, and well, that customer's not going to buy anything, I'm not even going to look, And it's like, no, dude, we have a professional obligation to let them know the condition of their vehicle.
Absolutely.
And just like with multi-stage sales, if we do a show and sell or an ISO presentation and sell them on one thing, and we put them in a loaner car and get them down the road or get them an Uber home or whatever it might be, we can't start on those brakes or those tires or anything else until they know about everything else that the car needs that we see.
Yep.
Because you never want to be in the situation where they say, well, I wouldn't have approved that first $1,000 if I had known it needed $2,000 more.
Absolutely. That's exactly right. I agree with that 100%.
So, that methodology and however you want to package it and brand it and teach it is not unethical as long as you're ethical.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, whether you're flat rate or being paid hourly, if you're an unethical person, you're going to take shortcuts no matter what, because they're still lazy. So it doesn't matter if you're flat rate or, and it's just about hiring good people. We want good people working for us,
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, 100%.
There is one thing that I feel like we got to talk about, and that you said, Aaron kind of became the guy that you were trying to emulate. He was your role model, and I know that you went and got the house at the coast, and you got the boat, and you got an airplane. You started flying airplanes, and we lost Aaron last month in a tragic accident. Everything that I've read says that it was a really sketchy approach that never should have been approved in the first place. Yeah. And it was just autopilot into terrain, which is horrible to think about. How has that impacted the team at ShopFix and the industry as a whole? Because love him or hate him, the man had an incredible impact and changed the lives of thousands of families in a positive way.
Yeah. Well, there's a saying, or there's a quote I've read, and the strength of the leader is revealed in his absence. And one thing about Aaron, he was a leader. And he has gathered, the coaches that you see in ShopFix, I think Aaron has brought all of us together. And we have become stronger than ever. And we're just for the mission. The mission is to keep the average small business from destroying the average small family. That is the mission. And we're going to see it carry forward. And I know it sounds weird to say, but Actually, I'm not gonna say it because this can be misconstrued.
Yeah.
But that's the mission, and we just have a heart for just the lost and broken shop owners.
Wow.
So,
yeah, I'm saddened, as is the whole industry, to lose Aaron so early. I think it was incredible what he was building and what he was doing, and it was incredible to sit back and watch him operate and maneuver, and just from the outside looking in, not even any kind of behind the scenes. I imagine behind the scenes it was even more incredible to watch him operate.
But the thing about Aaron is like, I'm always afraid to get close to leadership, like in churches and stuff. I don't know if you go to church, but I've been in churches where I became, in that, this inner circle, and you start seeing things and you start getting disappointed. And I was like, man, when am I gonna start seeing things about Aaron or the inner circle of ShopFix? Once I start peeling back the layers, what am I gonna see? And I've been, actually this month, it's 3 years since I've been coaching for ShopFix now, and who Aaron presented himself to be on stage, that's who he was in person, like 100%. So, he was one of a kind. I don't know if there's anyone else that can. I've never seen anyone like him.
What's next for ShopFix?
3,000 members. It's gonna be 3,000.
Who's gonna be the owner of ShopFix?
Oh, Aaron's wife, Lydia, has always been the owner.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's always been the owner.
Okay.
And Berg is the CEO. Yeah, it's just crazy how things played out. It's as if this was planned out. Like everything was already in place. And for the last few years, Aaron hasn't been part of the planning for the conferences or anything. He would speak on stage, but everything's been put into place. It's almost as if this was planned out. And Aaron had a 10-year goal that he laid out for ShopFix. So we're not skipping a beat. In fact, because of what's happened, we're stronger than ever. So it's bittersweet.
For sure.
Yeah.
Well, Jay, thank you for coming on, dude. I appreciate it. And thanks for sharing your story. And I'll let you know how my family's first MSC cruise goes.
Yeah,
probably won't be Yacht Club because I'm not quite the baller that you are. But one day, maybe we'll be on the same boat at some point and we can play craps together.
Oh, that'd be great, man. That'd be great.
Thanks, dude.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for watching our video today. If you enjoyed this content and you'd like to see some more, you can click right here. And it would be really helpful for me if you thought that this level of mediocrity is something that could help your other friends that were shop owners or in the industry. You can click right here and subscribe. You can even set up notifications if you want. I'd love to have you on the channel.